Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about AWS Glue. AWS Glue is one of the most important services in AWS, especially if you are a data engineer, data analyst, or a data scientist looking to explore and understand your data better. Okay, so what is AWS Glue? AWS Glue is a serverless data integration service. So what I mean by that is AWS is serverless, so it's fully managed by AWS. You don't have to deploy any servers or anything to manage AWS Glue. Okay, so with that said, let's see what are the key features of AWS Glue. So AWS Glue helps you in data discovery, ETL, and data cataloging. So these are the three important features of AWS Glue, and let's discuss each of these in detail. Okay, so the first main important use case of AWS Glue is data discovery, crawling, and cataloging of your data. Okay, so let's take an example here. So if you have some unstructured or semi-structured data in AWS, sitting in AWS S3 bucket or your data lake, so AWS Glue crawler can actually crawl through that data and discover that schema, infer that schema for you, and create a table in Glue Catalog. Okay, so if you see, the first step is you create a crawler and you establish a connection of that crawler with S3, and then the crawler infers the schema, and then it creates a table in Glue Catalog. Okay, and once the table is created in Glue Catalog, you can then start querying it as if it was structured data or as if it were any SQL database. So you can connect these catalog tables to Athena, Redshift, and EMR, and then start querying this data as if it were any database. Okay, so this is one of the most important features of AWS Glue, and it helps you discover and explore your data without actually moving the data from your sources. So in this whole process, the data is actually still sitting in your S3 itself, but you're able to query it from Athena, Redshift, or EMR. Okay, so this is what one of the most important features of AWS Glue is, in crawling through the data, inferring the schema, and creating catalog tables. And you can also use this Glue catalog as metadata repository for all your data sources, as such as S3, RDS, Redshift, DynamoDB, or any other database. So yep, Glue data catalog can also be an metadata repository for all your data source data. Okay, so now let's see the next important feature of Glue, which is ETL. Okay, so ETL, which is also extract, transform, and load. So Glue supports running ETL jobs on a serverless platform. So you don't, it actually under the hood, it runs Apache Spark, which is a very famous tool for ETL. So you don't actually have to manage or deploy Spark servers. So you can just start writing your jobs and write your ETL jobs and just run them on the fly in AWS Glue. Okay, so you can have your data source anything, like it can be S3 or anything. So you can write your AWS Glue job in PySpark, and run it on AWS Glue without actually having to manage any servers or anything. So AWS Glue does all the deployment and management of Spark servers, and then you can load it to a data target. So this is one of the most important features again in AWS Glue. Okay, so in the upcoming videos, I'm going to talk how to use this Glue crawler and Glue catalog tables to export the data in S3 and etc. And also, we are going to write some ETL jobs in PySpark to see how to leverage ETL functionality of AWS Glue to transform the data and load it into our targets. Okay, so this was a very short video to introduce you to what AWS Glue is. In the subsequent videos, we will discuss each of the features of AWS Glue and actually build something hands-on. Okay, thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.